is there a premium that I can pay to have you ring me up?
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Mac Report. We've got with us today, we've got Ristey, and on voice we've got Clash.ninja. So Ristey's coming back and Clash.ninja is our new guest on the show. I'm just going to turn the guys up so we should now be able to hear you guys. So if you give us a hello and let us know how you're getting on. Are you there, guys? Let's test it. Go for it.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, there you go.
Yo.
There's Clash.ninja in, and there's Ristey as well. Happy days. Awesome, right, so it's working, and this is only second time of me using this new overlay. Been playing around with it a little bit, so we've got some, like, the sounds and all that are playing, so we should be able to hear them as well now. Not seen anyone in the chat yet, which is always worrying, and always makes me think, are we actually live? But, at least it's recording, so, we'll get it on YouTube and podcasts as well, if required, so we'll be sorted. Let's get started, I suppose. I think, Ristey, we've chatted to you before. We know all about we know everything about you now. But what I wanted to do to start off with, I want to just do some quickfire questions to Clash.ninja and just get a bit about your sort of not the website or anything like that, but talk about your Clash of Clans experience. So, when did you start playing the game Clash.ninja?
So I'm a bit late to the party compared to a lot of you guys. I started in around mid 2015. So Town Hall 10 was max level. It was before the Town Hall 11 update with all the shield changes and what have you. But it's been a decent while, but I'm not an OG.
That's still pretty old. I mean, we're in 2021 now, so you're playing it a few years. Because I don't think I've been playing it that long. Because I don't think that 2013-14 is that long ago. And then I'm like, how many years is that? That's a fair few years.
What happens when you get old, man?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still think the 80s are only 20 years ago. Husky's in the chat, Dion's in the chat, happy days. And MJNZ, hello, welcome to the stream, guys. Guys, we do have sounds and all that. They are quite low, but you can spam sounds if you want. And we have emotes going as well if you want to throw them. Murph is in as well. Hello, guys. But what was that? What were we asking? Sorry. Yes. What's your favourite town hall then, Clash.ninja?
When I saw this, you got this on the list. I spent a bit of time thinking about it. I was going to say 12 because of the weaponized town hall, but I think actually 13 because you've got the weaponized town hall and also the World Champion makes quite a difference to your strategies. Spices it up a bit and gives you something else to sort of take into account when you're planning your attack. So I'm going to go with 13.
Ah, okay, cool. And do you have lots of accounts, or have you just got like the one account?
No, I've got quite a few. I'm currently playing, I think at the minute about 6. I mean, I've got a few others that are sort of idling, but I pushed 3 of them to Town Hall 14, so that's been keeping me busy for the last couple of weeks.
That's mental. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And what's your favourite strategy? What's your go-to strat?
At the minute, since the 14 update, I've been going back to Queen Charge Hybrid with Hogs and Miners. With the new healer levels, the extra 5 levels on the Queen, finding that the scatters aren't quite as brutal as they used to be at 13. So that's what I've been using in Legend League and for war attacks lately, and been getting a healthy number of triples. So I'm going to stick with that for the time being.
Yeah, cool. Happy days. And hello, Ristey. You've sat there patiently, doing that thing of having a camera pointed at you and being super conscious that it's pointing at you, but not wanting to interrupt it. So thank you for waiting and chilling. How's it going, Ristey? How are you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad. So I agreed to do it and then realised I was working away from home, so I'm sat in my hotel room and loving it.
It's a lovely sort of neutral background you've gone for there in the hotel room, but then that makes sense, doesn't it? That the old beige walls, that's what they're all about. And how's Clash going at the moment? What have Unfair Warfare been getting up to recently? I know I'm proper leading this one, but how's today gone, for example?
I think you're low. I know exactly where you're going with this, and AJ will thank you. So we just played a couple of matches of Mobile Open, and AJ just threw a perfect. So
Nice.
it's going,
So
it's going
AJ
all right.
doing
Dion,
Husky things, and I'm saying that because Husky is in the chat, so it feels only right.
if Dion's in there as well, tell him to pop over. He's got a new tweet.
AJ says, "Tell Ristey I just pulled the Husky."
Don't worry, I was watching.
So Ristey had the game open on his iPad and has abandoned the stream for it. So the mobile open, I still haven't got my head around it. Basically, you guys play matches against it. So it's EU Mobile Open. You play matches against other teams, but it's like it's randomized. Is that right? It's just sort of who's available at the time.
Yeah, so you get two options. So the first option is you pick somebody of a similar skill set to you, which is based on the points you've scored on the ladder system, and then the other option, which we took up a couple of times, was just find any opponent. And we haven't whaled. We've not had the people that have buffed defense. And our first two wars were against Inquisition and Eve 11 Original, where I was number one on our map and their fifth base was stronger than me. So
Yeah, okay, rip. Yeah. Alright, so
Yeah,
it's like a ladder. Okay, that makes more sense. I understand it's like a ladder system, but you can just sort of YOLO it and try and take on anyone and then find out about how pay to win is working at the moment.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Finding out the hard way.
So what about last time when we were on? We were talking about when you were on. We talked about the worlds and how that was going to play out with the whole prep day, and they just announced the world's rule set and all that sort of stuff. How's Unfair Warfare got their heads around the old 5 players being selected from 15 playing in Supercell CWL? Have you got your head around that? Because it's coming up next week, so no. How are you managing that?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a grey area still. I'm pretty sure it's not been confirmed. I keep hearing whispers that you can only sign one team up, you can sign 3 up. So we've got a contingency plan to cover both. Basically, if you can sign 3 teams up, great. Then we'll just spin 15 from Unfair Warfare. And if you can't, you can only sign up 1 team. Then we're going to send other teams to other clans. Thankfully, we've got the Unfair Warfare family, and
Ristey's back.
I got a phone call. So thankfully, yeah, we've got the Unfair Warfare family, and a couple of clans are willing to take five players of TH14 and effectively sign them up for Worlds, padding out the rest of the 10 places that otherwise we would have to fill and ultimately be short numbers.
Yeah, it's a really strange sort of setup. Rainbury's in the chat saying that he thinks you can sign up more than 1 team. Rainbury, it seems to be all over the place. It's really mixed messages, and really would have expected something a bit more sort of clear from there. What about you, Ninja? Are you planning on YOLOing the Worlds? I don't know where you play. Do you play for a team, or do you just kind of farm?
No. I'm just in a clan of sort of family and friends that I've been in pretty much from the early days. So it's not a competitive clan. I'd say that we punch above our weight relatively well. We get back a decent few wins, and we got promoted last season, so we've gone up into Masters 1.
Okay, cool.
So it's a bit challenging up there, but you don't have to do all the prep and the base building side of things. So it's a nice balance for the more casual but serious player, if that makes sense.
So we found the jump was, so I'm currently in a clan that's in Champs 2, but when we went from Masters 1 to Champs 3 the first time, the step up was crazy. A whole load of teams used, for example, used burnt base against us. And we realised that a whole load of the bases that we were using were burnt, which we'd never come across that in Masters 1. But when we went, it was this sudden step up. We're like, oh, we need to build a base. Oh, okay. It's just crazy. Biggest setup is Champs 2, Champs 1. Yeah, Husky, I could imagine that. Champs 2 we're kind of holding our own, but we're going to avoid doing CWL this month, I'm a bit gutted about.
There's going to be a bit of an arms race for the May season, just because Town Hall 14's come along, some people will have either busted out the credit card or maybe they've got sponsorships. So they're going to have max defenses, been grinding the walls, and that's going to set them apart. And also the pets mainly. Like a lot of people are going to be running level 1, level 2 or so pets. If you've got people rocking level 10 pets across the board, that's going to give them an edge that most people won't have.
Yeah, but you always find this at the start of a town hall upgrade. I think the challenge, so you get that that offense gets upgraded a lot quicker than defenses, because they haven't actually released like all the defense upgrades yet as well, have they? But it's not just that; it's that it's this world's element and this competitive element being so close to it makes it a real challenge.
And also, if you've got some of the pro teams who do have some big names behind them, to drop a few grand per player to get them upgraded for day one isn't such a big deal. Whereas, if you're working a regular job, that sort of money is not the sort of thing you can splash on a mobile game.
How much have you spent, Ristey? Or do you not want to say? Do you not want to admit to that? To the wife?
I don't mind. I've spent probably about 35 quid.
Okay. That's not.
Five of that was for gems yesterday, so I could donate. I had to buy a book of fighting so I could give Lando Max Inferno babies for a CC in the level 1. I've also hammered Valks for Samo, so just not taking my own route.
Happy days. Right, well, the next bit I've got to talk about here, guys, is Clash.ninja. We're going to talk about what Clash.ninja is. So I've dealt with you in a different capacity. When I tried experimenting with getting a scoreboard set up, and you set up a scoreboard that worked really well, but then I ended up very rudely not really using it.
That's not your fault at all, really. I mean, the issue there is because for people who aren't aware, unless you're one of the top tier streamers who are backed by Supercell, there's a 10-minute delay on a lot of the war data. And if you're running a 45-minute war or something with a scoreboard, 10 minutes doesn't sound like much until you start watching a stream and you're 3 attacks behind. And if it's a tense war, it's practically useless. So I spent a bit of time trying to improve it where I could, and in the end, just can only work with what you've got. And I thought until we've got access to faster data, it's not really practical for the smaller streamers. Even if it would add a lot to their content. Yeah.
But anyway, tell us about Clash.ninja. Tell me about that. That's probably a much better place to go. Tell me about your pet project.
So this is a website I created a few years back, started in 2016. The goal was, when I started playing, I was getting frustrated with not being able to see what levels were left for each town hall level. And once you start running multiple accounts, it's easy to lose track of what upgrades finish when, and you got idle labs, idle builders. So I had a look around on the internet for sites that let you manage all your upgrades. There were a couple already out there, but they were I wasn't a fan of them, to put it mildly. So I thought, well, this is what I do for a day job. I build websites and develop software. So I thought I'd make my own, and here we are. So it was originally going to start off as a project just for me to use for myself, but as things progressed, I thought, I imagine other people might like using it as well and find it useful. And then I rolled it out publicly, and I was surprised by what a positive reception it got. So that was a very pleasant surprise.
How long has it been going then?
So I started developing it in 2016, and it went live in 2018. So it took me the best part of 2 years to put it all together. And that was just the main upgrade tracker, which most people know the site for. Since then, I've created the stats tracker, which is more sort of aimed at the competitive side of Clash, with wars, CWL tracking, so players can keep track of their stats across multiple wars. Because obviously every clan always has a stats guy. They've got the guy running the numbers every war, telling you which target to hit to make sure you get the win. And this is kind of building on that, so that you've not got someone manually calculating everything all the time. And so the upgrade tracker has been the main popular section on there, but the stats tracker is also popular with a different group of players. So it's nice to have it all in one place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I've kind of got it going on the stream at the moment. I'm just looking at Unfair Warfare's mobile open experience, I think, up against Hanoi and 11 Original, Ristey.
Hanoi was Eurat qualified
Ah,
too.
right, okay.
Another situation where money buys wins.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like that for a few months. Unfortunately, it's pretty. Is that quite hard to deal with, Ristey? Is that pretty rough? Sort of keeping morale up, or is everyone kind of understand? Everyone kind of got their head around that.
I think everybody keeps their head up, knowing that they've still got a full wallet. It's frustrating from a competitive aspect where you want to be competing, and that it's only time, and if you wanted to buy the time naturally, then that's all that's holding you back at the minute. Or you'd like to think that that's what's holding you back. But yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, it's a good excuse. You can just ride the excuse that if you lose, then that's why you lost. But yeah, it's frustrating, but it's not damaging morale at all.
Ah, cool. Happy days. And so yeah, you kind of talked about that. You came up with that. I think probably the thing I'm interested in is this upgrade tracker. So I've seen Clash Playhouse Avi playing around with this, and he has it set up where so is it set up where it'll alert you when your builders are going to run out? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So although in game you do get notifications on your device when an upgrade finishes, if you've got multiple accounts, you find that some of the notifications get missed. So on the site, once you've got all your upgrades monitored, saying what's upgrading, when it completes, you get a push notification to both desktop and mobile saying, this village has finished this upgrade. And if on the sort of Gantt chart style planner, if you've planned out what you want to upgrade next, it'll also remind you what you plan next. So that's handy for making sure that you can plan your upgrades around CWL or other tournaments you're taking part in, to make sure that your heroes aren't down or you're not missing something. All those critical upgrades are sort of completed on time and things.
Oh, that's cool, man.
So it's one of those things that over time it's had new features added and added complexity, but it can be a little bit daunting at first because there's so much there. But the people who've spent the time to get to grips with it sort of say to me that they couldn't imagine life playing Clash without it, really, which is quite a rewarding thing to hear.
That's pretty cool. Ben, thank you for the sub, by the way. Sorry, man. I saw that, but I didn't get a chance to thank you. Thank you so much for that. How long, Ninja? How long does it take to max Town Hall 14 then? So, that must be must have been one of the interesting things about the update. For you suddenly having to try and work out all the new sort of stats that were coming out as we get.
Like I was saying about being the stats man in the clan, I'm one of the stats guys who likes to plug all the numbers and see what's what. So obviously, as with all updates for new town halls, we don't get everything on day one. So there's going to be, I imagine we're going to get more hero levels, potentially more pet levels. There's definitely troops that are missing upgrades, defenses missing upgrades.
Hero levels, you think?
Well, if you look at the last few updates, we normally get 10 or 15 hero levels by the end. We've only had 5 this time around.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the minute you're looking at, if you've got 6 builders, in that chart doesn't include any of the gold pass boosts. You're looking at about 6 months if you keep the builders busy. In the pets, the pets are the big whammy at 7 months. But I mean, the biggest thing, unlike the other previous updates, is the bill for the Dark Elixir is huge. I mean, you're looking at 13 million Dark Elixir. I think I worked out that one of my maxed 13 accounts had only farmed about 16 million Dark Elixir in the lifetime of the account. So
right, yeah.
you're going to have max players needing to farm the same amount of Dark Elixir again, which is an absolute bonkers amount.
I mean,
that's only going to go up as more stuff.
They said that about the they mentioned that. I saw Darry in an interview talking about that, where he basically talked about super troops trying to be like a sink for Dark Elixir for max players, and then obviously it didn't work. It just that wasn't what it was used as. And because
also if you're in Legends, you get so much dark once your heroes are upgraded, at least when you were Town Hall 13. You could have 2 super troops unlocked all the time, and it still didn't really make a dent, even with armies that cost 6,000 or 7,000 Dark Elixir. So for lower level players, it probably did act as a sync, but for the max level players, it was neither here nor there.
Ristey, what are you thinking of Town Hall 14? Are you enjoying it, or are you just hating the grind at the moment and not made a decision about it? Because I remember at the time you weren't excited about what was potentially coming up with the whole sort of Town Hall 14 upgrade sort of process of farming and all that sort of stuff. Last time we spoke.
I mean, yeah, I think the 10 levels on each hero is a bit crazy. I mean, I'm still baffled that you can't speed that up.
On the pets,
yeah,
pets is crazy. I don't understand why there's not a potion. Yeah,
I reckon there'll be a potion added in the next update in the summer or something, because we didn't have a super potion originally for the super troops, and that got added further down the line. So I think that's probably something that we will see.
I mean, is it something that they've on purpose delayed? I mean, in the meantime, you're going to get people that are buying books.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I'm neglecting the heroes to focus on the pets, because I mean, we touched on it earlier. But when you come to Worlds, if you pop a hero potion, then you get the 5 levels that take your heroes to max, and then your pets need the extra 5.
Yeah.
If you get your pets to 5.
I cannot believe that they added more levels to Hero. It's especially if they're adding 4 different pets, not from like, oh, they're making us farm so much. It's just like, that was the thing that was so broken about Town Hall 13, was that people were saying, oh, it's the Infernal Drags, it's the Witches, it's this, it's that. It was the flipping heroes. Being able to sui 50% of the base was quite common. Chuck a couple of heroes in there, the Queen can charge for ages, and we'll just give them 5 extra levels. But the cannon's 5 cabbages now.
That's always the case, though, at the end of life for the previous max Town Hall level. Like, if you remember the end of Town Hall 12, like Peccabo Bat and stuff was just wiping out almost any base. It was just 3s left, right, and centre. So I think it's kind of also it's a chance to give the more casual players an opportunity to feel like they're half good at the game by getting a few 3s, and at the higher level, it just feels a little bit broken, like you said. But I mean, it's early days with Town Hall 14 at the minute, but I imagine once we get some more defensive upgrades, that'll probably counter the new 5 levels and the pets. On the troop front, obviously we've had new baby drags, new healers, but all the rest are, the archer and barbarian helps boost heroes a little bit, but the rest are kind of wishy-washy troops that you're not getting sort of new electro wizards. Not getting new hogs, not getting new miners or anything.
Yeah, my lab's not really done very much at all, to be fair. I've had a whole load of, like, when you get rid of like your spare book of spells and book of troops and all that sort of, whatever it's called, book of fighting, then actually my lab's kind of sat idle, because you just use the hammers and the spell books on it. I think there's only a couple of things left to do. Endell's pointed out something quite interesting. He said that you can't use the hero potion on defense. So while he agrees that you wouldn't that he would do pets to 5 before touching heroes, I think he's sort of saying pets to 5, then heroes, then pets to 10, which I think kind of makes sense. That's a
valid point, because
point of view on
as soon as you got level 50 Grand Warden, like, that actually becomes a bit of a pain in the arse on defense, because it's got a slow rate of attack with quite a high alpha. Yeah. And if you've got a queen or a RC wandering around, under fire from scatters, that could really throw a spanner in the works if you don't get your rage down quite quick enough. And with an extra 5 levels, that's even more damaging.
Ristey's picture's gone off. He's obviously had to answer a call or something. So we've now got your logo instead. Bizarrely, Clash.ninja, your logo's now appeared just from the way that it's set up. Hopefully you come back in a second. We're gonna move on to kind of a bit of a prediction time. So hopefully Ristey pops back in a second. There he is. We've got.
I did tell you I was going for input in the mobile open.
Yeah, no worries, man. I wasn't gonna say what was going on. I was just gonna let you just deal with it in the background. No worries.
So I was waiting for you to chuck AJ under the bus and just be like, just go on to input AJ's the perfect again. But
Mara says only she's allowed to go invisible. Mara, hello. We've got basically, so next week I thought about doing some predictions, I thought about looking at the worlds, but we're kind of still a wee bit off from the world, so I thought we'd leave that for a couple of weeks' time. What we've got though is next week we've got the Northern Arena Clash. I don't know what the CC stands for. NACC anyway. The first, the sort of the pro league. So this is the top 18 teams. There's 2 divisions, so 18, and then there's another set up. But they're competing for $10,000, and it's the top 18 teams. In someone's opinion, the top 18 teams in the world competing. Now I know that Ristey, you've maybe got opinions on if these are the top 18 teams and all that sort of stuff. But I think what we'll do, I've just lost my screen. There we go. Whoops. What we'll do is I'm going to bring up the matches. I thought we'd just go through. We'll go for a prediction on who we think is going to win. Hopefully we have some disagreements on who we think is going to win, because that'll be interesting. I also think we should maybe pass judgment on these top teams' logos, because some of them are good. Some of them, I don't know. So maybe we do a tier list another week, but we could just do a passing judgment on that, and let us know what you think. Ristey, I think you've frozen. What do I need to do to make you come back? Oh, there we go. It was on me. It's my fault. It's not you. It's me. Don't worry about it. We've got you back. Oh, man. I tell you what. Technical issues, man. Anyway, let's just move on. He's just mega chilled. Yeah, he was just concentrating really hard, man. That's what he was doing. So here we go. We've got the matches from week 1. So these teams will all play each other over the course of this 18 teams. How many weeks is that? Over the course of a few weeks. And and I'll be streaming some of them, which is I'm pretty excited about that. But here we go. So we got the first one. Some of them are new names. Some of them are old teams with new names, if that makes sense. And some of them are pretty well established. But the first one we've got on the screen, guys, is QSFN versus Vatang. So what are we thinking? Ristey, do you want to go first? Give us your predictions on this.
Yeah, I think Vatang should take that one. I think it'd be close, but I do think Vatang will edge that.
Yeah, I think. What are you thinking, Ninja?
I'll be honest, I haven't been following it super closely. I've been catching some of the matches, but I've not been watching all of them, so I'm not too sure who to root for, really.
Okay, so QSFN, to give you background, they are kind of like INTZ Reborn. INTZ, 2 or 3 of INTZ players.
Right.
So not Marinal, he's gone to Space Station Gaming. I think Selenio and Loop went to QSFN, and a couple of other guys went to NG. They actually aren't in here, NGT. And they're kind of like an all Brazilian affair again, but some pretty untested players in there. So yeah, I kind of got to go with Ristey on this one. I think Vatang, with their world's experience and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the thing with these matches is it's every week, so it's going to be difficult to call. But yeah, then we've got one that some people in the chat have already said Tompanai on the next match. It's Monster against Tompanai. Now, Monster is the new name for Nishan Dance. And when you hear Nishan Dance, that might change people's opinions. So we've got Monster with the weirdest logo I've ever seen. Ristey, I know you can't see the stream, so you're just sort of you can't pass an opinion on this. Up against Tompanai. Tompanai is Rigatori's new team. So yeah, what are we thinking out of that one? Clash.ninja, let's go with you first, man.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'll probably put my money on Monster.
Going with Monster. What are you thinking, Ristey?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think Nishan Dance were looking really, really strong in the warm-ups, the warm-up tournament. And to be honest, at one point I thought they were going to go all the way and win it. So, I mean, fair enough. Again, I think it's going to be a close match. Both teams.
I think that's the thing. These teams are, with the exception of maybe one, these teams are all pretty well known, pretty well established, all have decent players in them, all do well in the community competitions. People are giving me updates on who plays for QSFN. It's Renan and Loop and Quatano for QSFN, sorry. And there we go. And then the last match on this card, I've got 11 Original versus Space Station Gaming. What are we saying about that? It's the USA versus the German side. What are we thinking, Ristey?
Do I back the Germans for a war? I think
Space
I think
Station Gaming
Space
have had a couple of maybe a couple of extra months playing together, so they've got like they've got the names, haven't they, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be how well they've gelled in that time,
Yeah,
because I don't feel that in the last several months that they've reached their full potential.
yeah.
So I think if it's going to be whether the space station its quality shine through for me. I think the 11 original, when they got the wildcard vote for the Worlds last year, really didn't stand out and probably weren't the right choice to go, but fans picked, and
Yeah.
that's a different matter in itself. So I think uh, I'm gonna say Space Station if they turn up.
Space Station if they turn up half of these. What about you, Ninja? What are you saying?
Yeah, so it's like Ristey said, it's a close one, and a lot of it comes down to what happens on the day, doesn't it? Because everyone has those days that go cracking, and other times it goes wrong. So I think I'd agree with Ristey. Space Station maybe just have the edge there.
Right, okay, we'll move a bit quicker on these. Sorry, guys, I'm taking my time on these, but we've got 3 more here. We've got six more in total, but we got next Penta against Tribe. What we're saying, Tribe are basically a brand new team. But it's kind of like a German off now. Tribe are an all German team, and Penta German? I'm pretty sure Penta are German. You know when I say something, then I'm not 100% sure. Go for it, Ristey. What are you thinking?
I don't think Tribe have gelled very well whatsoever. So I'm going to say Penta.
Cool. What about you, Ninja? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I've not seen any of Tribe's matches lately. But if you guys are saying it's a little bit ropey, yeah, I guess money's on Penta.
Cool, man. Cool. Right, okay. Next 2 we've got HT Family, the E-Dragon Inferno Drag spammers, and they're up against, I don't know how to pronounce it, so it's Soul but with an 8 in the middle of it, and this is an Indian team. The best performing, according to their stats, the best performing Indian team. I don't know if that's such a big claim to fame, though. They're an interesting choice in this top 18. I can kind of see where they're going from. In the Indian community in Clash of Clans, it's huge, and it's good for them to have a team there. But I don't think these guys are like a rebranded Indian Clashers, for example. I think this is a different set of Indian players. So, I mean, I might have been trying to I might be swaying your predictions quite heavily here, but what would you be thinking, Ninja? HT Family or Soul?
Yeah, I think HT Family have got the track record, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like,
I'd have to go
I mean, when you've got a new clan, like sometimes, or a new team at least, sometimes like straight out the gate they'll be on fire and getting wins left, right, and centre. But you can't always, you want a bit of reassurance when you've seen a team sort of work together before. So I think HT Family's where I am on that one.
What are you thinking, Ristey? Are you going with that as well, or are you thinking that Soul are the dark horses?
I think, to be honest, I think the HT Family, given the fact that they only use air, so it's E-Drags or IBDs, I think that if Soul have done their research, their lack of experience might not necessarily be a bad thing going into it with nothing to lose. And I think that if they bait their defenses, test against those strategies, I think they can definitely cause an upset. So
yeah, no, that's a fair point. So I mean, we saw that with HT Family in the Worlds warm up. The day 1, they absolutely smashed it. Day 2, they came up against alternate attacks, and alternate attacks built against them, and defended really well. So I'm pretty sure it was HT Family. I might have just made that up, but you know what I mean. Anyway, MCS, the on-form French side. And then COG, or KOG, who I don't know who these guys are. I've seen them come up a couple of times, and the chat might be able to help me out here. They are another Asian side, but that's all I know about them. The bio on them is they're an upcoming team. So they're a bit of an interesting sort of mix in there. But what are we thinking? I mean, yeah, go for it. I'm trying not to sway this when I introduce them, but I blatantly am. Ristey, go for it. Tell us what you think.
MCS all the way. I think they might be an up and coming team, but they're going to get a baptism of fire here.
Yeah, MCS are just insane, aren't they? MCS are one of my favourite teams to watch. They've got so much variety within their attackers. There's so much creativity in there. I know, like, Queen Walkers get a bit of sort of credit for being like really creative attackers and all that, but MCS, man, they break down bases pretty brutally. Ninja, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. MCS, I think, have got the upper hand there.
Right, okay, last one. We have quite an interesting one. Aphelion Esports against Unicorns of Love. Unicorns of Love, the Unicorns of Love main team, and the Aphelion main team as well, obviously. So what are we thinking on that one? I always forget to say who to go. Ristey, what are we thinking on that one?
So I think Unicorns of Love should take that one. I mean, Aphelion put up a 15 and then put a 9 down the next war, and I mean, really, you shouldn't be looking at a top team putting a 9 down or having the capability to put in a 9. So I think Unicorns of Love should be able to see that one through.
What about you, Ninja? What are you thinking?
Yeah, can't argue with that. I mean, you've got to have the consistency there. And if the consistency is not there, it's going to cost you, isn't it? So yeah, Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, I kind of love Aphelion. I just mainly because they took part. The family took part in Family Feud, so they're one of the teams that I just really like. I'd love them to do well in this one. But yeah, the Unicorns of Love main team is strong as well. And you're right, that performance in the Worlds. But Aphelion will be sore after that. They'll be aware of that. Do you know what I mean? They'll be looking to fix that. Anyway, let's move on. We've got Queen Walkers versus Vanguard Gaming. Vanguard Gaming out on day 1 of the World's warm-up. And Queen Walkers, as we know, the always talked about as one of the most creative teams. So what are we thinking? I think the chat has gone for Queen Walkers in this one. Anyway, sorry. Ninja, let us know what you think.
Yeah. Queen Walkers have had some good wars. Vanguard have done all right as well. I'll go with Queen Walkers on this one.
I think they're the safe option, aren't they? Ristey, what are you thinking?
Yeah. Definitely Queen Walkers. They, I think since the Worlds, I think they've taken a bit of time off and their performances have dipped. Saw them in the EYG Open, didn't even make. I think they finished 4th in their group. Didn't make it through. But I haven't seen anything from Vanguard Gaming that I think would trouble Queen Walkers too much. I might be surprised, but I just can't look beyond Queen Walkers for this one.
Fair enough. And then the last one we've got is Alternate Attacks against Carnage Gaming. Carnage Gaming is the new name for Marshall's Kiss. So not a brand new team in any way. I mean, there shouldn't be any brand new teams in the top 18 in the world. But yeah, under a new game, and I really like their logo. Anyway, that's beside the point. But what are we thinking, Ristey? Alternate Attacks, the world champions and the world warm-up champions. Do you think they'll continue to dominate, or do you think Carnage have got the opportunity to beat them here?
The domination continues. They're a fantastic team. They're very well rounded, and at some point they have to drop off. But I just you just as a betting man, it's no point.
Yeah. What are you thinking then? Did you go with that? Or?
ATN were on fire during the warm-ups, weren't they? Like, they just make it look so easy. I think yeah, you got to back them. They're still heading up, aren't they? Really.
Happy days, brilliant. So there we go. That was, I don't know, that was a bit of fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I now need to work out how to remove all this without making it messed up. Oh, there we go. Everyone's back. I think people enjoyed doing predictions in the chat there as well, which was really nice. So what else have we got? That's kind of us towards the end. I don't know if we've got any viewer questions or anything. Anyone want to ask Clash.ninja anything? Anyone got any website issues that they want help with? or anyone want to ask Ristey anything about life in general. Otherwise, what do you guys want to chat about anything else, or will we just finish off there? How's everyone's day going? I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for coming in, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
I've got a question for Clash.ninja actually.
Go on,
What
Ristey.
out of all the stats that you run, what is your most favorite stat? Favorite stat type, I guess.
I think what I quite like looking at is the win streaks and loss streaks. So obviously in game, when you look at a clan profile, you can see what their current win streak is. But the fact that I've got all the wars going back means that I can chart that over time. So you can look at some clans where they sort of are ticking up and down, win 2 or 3, lose 1, win 2 or 3, lose 1. And then you get especially some of the pro clans where they go on streaks of like 25, 30 wins and then a single loss and then another 25, 30 wins on the trot. And that's one of the things I look at when I'm matched with a random spin clan. You look at their past win streaks, and that gives you a good indicator of sort of the level of clan you're dealing with.
Big Vale managed to interrupt you there, Ninja, and I was forced to dance. He gifted a sub to Husky there in the middle of that. But happy days. We've got some stuff coming in, some questions coming in here. M-Dubs, what do we think about the new Clash of Clower power rankings? I've seen this on Twitter. I've not really sort of got my head around this, how they've worked them out. But sort of like it's kind of what you're talking about there, Ninja, about like the on form teams. It's someone that's taken the community sort of wars and all that, and taking the on form teams and sort of scoring them in some way. What do you think about that, Ristey?
I love stats, so anybody that puts stats in front of me, I'm always intrigued, and I think it's good. I know the pool's limited. I'd like to see a lot more teams involved, but I think it's definitely harder to track. It's definitely harder to judge. I actually had a chat with Christine, who runs that, about how that sort of works, just to get more of an insight into how the mechanics of it, and it's quite interesting, and I like quite a few of the things that she was doing, the fantasy clash as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
Cool. Ninja, what do you think about it? Have you heard of it? Have you seen anything about it?
No, I haven't actually, but I might have to look into it and see how it's calculated, because it's always interesting to see the numbers of how these things are put together. Yeah. And maybe I can pinch a few ideas.
Yeah, and as Tom's mentioning there, Fantasy Clash is going to stop. I don't know what the idea behind that is. I don't know if it's maybe the backers dropped out or what it is, but I played with it in Alpha League. It was quite good, but different. Or maybe just do timing tests. So I don't know what our sort of understanding that is. Someone's asking about there's only so the NACC Dig VJ King it's 18 teams, but they all play each other, so it's a league. So it's the first league sort of idea. There is a second division as well that we play in, and we don't know the teams for that. It haven't been announced, but there'll be a second division playing as well, and they'll all be doing a similar sort of idea with the league. AJ's asked me to ask Ristey about Room 13. I don't know if is that suitable, Ristey, or is that like just move on?
Not really suitable, but I don't mind answering it if you want to.
Let's move on. I need to hear the story first before I decide whether or not it goes out. N-Dubs asked about who to expect from the top 18 in the first qualifier. Do you think we'll see? So how many actually go to the? Is it 8 or 6? In the, I can't remember now. What from those guys that we just talked about, or anyone else? I think I know who Ristey's going to say he hopes to see in the Worlds. But who do you expect to see in the Worlds? Turning up on that stage in the World Qualifier, the May qualifiers. Have you got any dark horses? Ninja, you want to start us off? You got anyone you're thinking of, or it's going to be a really interesting one. Basically, no people not having to qualify or anything like that. So just
I think until we've seen how some of these newer team formations are performing, it's going to be tricky to. Obviously, there's the ones almost like the dead search. You're pretty much sure you're going to see there, like ATN and maybe MCS. Yeah. The others, I think, until we've seen what they can do against some of the other top tier clans. It's a bit difficult to call. There might be a few surprises and upsets along the way, but I think until we're seeing them, it's going to be a difficult one.
Ristey, have you got a plan for how Unfair Warfare are going to get there?
I think it would involve chucking money.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a bit disappointed for the first couple of months, to be honest. I think that there's going to be a divide, and I don't think that you'll see any upsets or.
It's going to be the guys that have paid for
standing out.
The guys that have got max defenses and max attack. Yeah.
It'll be organisations that have thrown money at it, I think, or a team of 5 that have grouped together to throw money at it that might not necessarily be one of the top teams, but they'll be able to. I mean, it doesn't take a lot if you throw money at it and then you get a good run. You could easily stand out, and Unfair Warfare won't be. Well, don't have 5 that are going to wail. So I think that we've got the best team that we've ever had going into Worlds. We've got two phenomenal teams that I think definitely have chances of qualifying. But again, I just don't think that without a backing, and to be honest, we don't really want a backing, that it's fair game for the first few months.
Yeah, May and possibly the next one are probably just sort of experience level ones, just sort of understand the process, see how far you get, and just sort of run with it. That's sort of how you're approaching it.
Yeah, I think it's a case of I think we've definitely got the attacking capabilities, but defensively, if your base isn't maxed, then you're always going to struggle. Somebody that's got maxed offense it's a part dip, so you come across a decent team and they should rightfully give you a good hiding. So.
I mean, haven't we seen in previous years that once the teams have started to qualify, they'll take their foot off the gas for future months, so that almost makes the competition pool a little bit smaller because they've already qualified and they're not going to put full effort in on Supercell Citadel.
Yeah, that's right. Especially if you've already qualified, you don't take part. But it's frustrating that you're gifting organisations that. Well, it's pay to win, so you're gifting anybody a leg up into it, and as much as the pool reduces, it's still less months for you to see lesser named clans make a name for themselves.
I was saying this to Carnage, Adam Carnage, on his stream yesterday. He was talking about, someone was asking about when Town Hall 15 was going to be, and he was like, "Oh, it'll be in 18 months' time," and I was like, "No, that's in the middle of Worlds." It's either Town Hall 15 is either going to be 2 years or a year away. Do you know what I mean? That's the reality. When Darian in the past was talking about this 18-month cycle, there was no consideration from Worlds, and there's obviously this tension within Clash of Clans between the masses and providing stuff for them, but also trying to deal with the Worlds. And I think you saw it here with this. I think the update was delayed by a month. I think originally they wanted to release it in March. I think it came out in April. I think that's not left enough time until the World's in May. It's not, a month is not enough time when you're introducing 40 pet levels. It's just not a thing.
Would you say that, like, Town Hall 13 dropped in December? I reckon that's a good time of year because obviously Worlds is over and done with by then, isn't it? So that gives people a few months leading up to the following summer.
Yeah, that's the sensible option, but I don't think Worlds is ever going to be. The esports community is such a small part of Clash of Clans when you consider the millions of people that are playing it. It's never, in fact, Emdo's just saying that, it's never going to have that much of an impact on it. I think not dropping it in the middle of a world cycle is maybe on the radar enough. I don't think they're worrying about anything else beside that. The big revenue draw is the update, isn't it? So I think it'd be weird if we have an update. Town Hall 14. Some people qualify the Town Hall 14, but then war at Town Hall 15. That's messed up, isn't it?
I mean, there was previous updates where there was updates to Town Hall 13 where a lot of the top teams were they given something like 20,000 gems per qualified player just to give them a boost to try and help them along.
Okay, and it's interesting. Chat's kicking off now. What's your opinion, Ristey? Am I way off with that, or?
I think business wise, and naturally Supercell as a business, and I know I know you've said that you don't see it dropping in Worlds, but they dropped it 2 days before the end of Supercell CWL last time, and even though the esports community might be a small factor, I don't think you'll see as many. Even with the ratio might be huge. I think that you're gonna see, of percentage wise, out of those ratios, a bigger percentage of the competitive scenes that are going to be chucking more money into packs that they've got on offer, especially the bigger packs. So I definitely think that the esports side of Clash of Clans has the pull to be able to draw more money into Supercell's pockets, but yeah, I don't think they'll drop it during Worlds. But then again, I think the timing for dropping it after Worlds would be off. So I think you're probably looking at maybe slightly earlier than they did this time. I agree. I think that there was definitely a delay. There's definitely not enough time or thought gone in my opinion for the pets to upgrade during Worlds, even if you wanted to be free to play. This again, like the Worlds are finished pretty much. Given Ninja's stats, you're going to run out of time. So
yeah, it's rough. Loads of potions. I think getting, like you're saying, getting those pets up. Pets aren't on defense, so yeah, getting those pets up to 5, then working on heroes. Yeah, people spent in the $800, £400 for Fnatic. Just I bought the Royal Champ skin because I liked it. And I bought
that gives you an extra plus 5 levels on
pack
you
or something, I think.
I bought the scenery and the skin as well.
Yeah, it's like those are the important things. That, to be fair, that Royal Champ skin, it's the closest Royal Champ skin to the Primal Royal Champ concept that someone put out. I love that Primal RC skin anyway, which never actually made it to the game, but it might come out sometime. Anyway, I'm sorry, we're down just whittling on. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Ristey, I'm going to say on your holiday. You're not on your holidays. You're working away from home, but taking your evening out when you could be down. Now the pubs are open again in the UK, or they definitely are in Scotland anyway. You could be down at the pub right now, but instead you're here chatting to me. Same for you, Clash.ninja. Thank you for coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed
Thanks for having
me. No worries, guys. I hope to see you on again soon. M-Dub's loving it. Thank you, man. Guys, thank you so much. We'll have to raid into someone. That's got to be the done thing. I'm now trying to try and work out who's live. But while I'm doing that, see, this is the thing. I should have asked the question, and then worked out what's going on next. But anyway, what? Alex is live. Amazing. There we go. Nice, easy answer. Raid Clash with Style. Guys, you got any last words? Sounds like you're going to execute you or something. Any last words before we disappear?
Thanks for having me back. Love being on the stream. I can waffle nonsense for a long time, that. But so it's always appreciated.
No worries, man.
For the offer to come back.
And Ninja, thank you for coming along. I have created an account.
Thanks for having me.
I am going to link my village to it, and be depressed about how much longer I've got my Town 14 before it's maxed, which is always fun.
I had a quick add one departing question actually for you, Ninja. It was you said you can get notifications. Is there a premium that I can pay to have you ring me up and tell me that my upgrade is finished?
We can talk about that one in private.
Sounds good.
Happy days. And on that note, we shall go. Thanks very much, guys. Everyone, subs and follows and all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much. Catch you later. All the best. Bye.